Ladies and gentlemen, how do we begin? The geopolitical fragmentation that has been gathering momentum in the post-COVID era unfortunately persisted and intensified throughout last year. The significant shifts in the political, economic, and diplomatic landscape have inevitably resulted in governments across the world reacting to safeguard their respective national interests. More and more, across the globe, we are now witnessing the implementation of regulatory and business policies that prioritize energy security and indeed resource sovereignty. So even as these same economies pursue industrial and technological competitiveness with even greater fervor. These responses are expected, but they are contributing to an increasingly fragile global economy and making our operating environment even more uncertain. This necessitates all businesses to continuously adapt and pivot their strategies with a marked focus on building resilience. So during the period under review, some notable metrics you need to take cognizance of: oil prices fell by 14% to $69 per barrel from $81 per barrel in the prior year. And this was attributable to oversupply concerns and persistent macroeconomic headwinds. The average LNG spot prices, however, increased by 7% from 2024 to 2025 by reaching $12.70 per MMBTU. This indicates rising demand for LNG, not only in Northeast Asia, our core markets, but also in Europe. Refining margins recovered somewhat by 18% in 2025, partially due to short-term supply-demand dynamics. Ethylene, which we use as a proxy for chemical prices, saw a reduction, indicating that this sector is facing softening, a reduction of 12% in 2025 to levels which are lowest on record as a result of prolonged global oversupply and persistent weak demand. PETRONAS navigated the continued volatility we saw last year with focus. A focus that was relentless on strengthening portfolio resilience, as I mentioned earlier. We did this through strategic partnerships, we did this through portfolio high grading, and we also embarked on value accretive undertakings. These efforts continue to be underpinned by prudent financial management, and certainly we still continue to pursue operational and commercial excellence. As a result, I can now report that PETRONAS' financial performance for the full year of 2025 remained resilient, with a profit after tax of 45.4 billion, 45.5 there, on the back of 266.1 billion in revenue. Ebitda stood at 103 billion for the year under review. Puan Liza will, of course, elaborate on these financial highlights shortly. In delivering the group's performance, safety, of course, continues to be the top imperative in all of our business and operations, and I am pleased to report that for the year 2025, PETRONAS recorded a lost time injury frequency of only 0.15 per million man-hours, and we continue to work to improve this. The group is also very pleased to report that we recorded 0 fatality across operations under our control. The group will also continue to do all that is possible to uphold this benchmark and create a safe working environment for all its employees, all of our partners, and indeed the community at large.